Talk more about Facebook with New York Times reporters Shira Frankel and Cecilia Kang. They're out with a new book today titled An Ugly Truth Inside Facebook's Battle for Domination. Good morning to you both. Congratulations on Pub Day. We were talking earlier, there have been so many books written about Facebook. The question is, what else can you say? It turns out there's a lot more to say inside your book. So Shira, let me start with you. And we can talk about the insurrection of January 6th. We can talk about the attack on the Capitol and how much of that poison, how many of those conspiracy theories collected and gathered steam on Facebook. And as you both write in the book, this is a feature of Facebook, that the platform is effectively created to get people engaged at whatever cost.
Absolutely. I mean, we could see for months leading up to January 6th that movements that called themselves Stop the Steal were spreading this incredibly emotive content, which was designed to misinform people and tell them that the election had been stolen from President Trump. And these groups were going viral. They were spreading this misinformation. It was being amplified by the president itself. Facebook saw that happening. And while they did take action on some groups, there were many other groups that they left online.
So Facebook will tell you, yeah, we took down the posts. Any time we saw violence or a threat, we took it down. How seriously do they take this stuff, conspiracy theories? And are they compelled, because as you say, it does go against their business model, are they compelled really to go after them, Cecilia?
I mean, they're trying. They're hiring thousands of content moderators or expanding their security team, but this is a company with 3 billion users, so they're really playing catch up. The gap is so wide between what they can enforce. What we found in our book and our reporting really surprised us in that we thought that this company was like a Frankenstein, perhaps, a machine that had kind of gotten out of control. But what we found is, as you said, Willie, there was actually it's a feature, not necessarily a bug, that engagement is the core thing that they're looking for. And that means eyeballs constantly there, checking back over and over and coming frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a spokesman for Facebook released a statement about the claims the company didn't do enough to stop the January 6th Capitol attack, writing, quote, as we've said repeatedly, including before Congress, our teams were vigilant in removing content that violated our policies against inciting violence leading up to January 6th. We were prepared for this. We've been more aggressive than any other internet company in combating harmful content, including content that sought to delegitimize the election. We banned hundreds of militarized social movements, took down tens of thousands of QAnon pages, groups, and accounts from our apps, removed the original Stop the Steal group, labeled candidates' posts that sought to prematurely declare victory, and suspended former President Trump from our platform for at least 2 years. So, Shira, let's talk about the bigger question that's surrounded Facebook for years. Are they a publisher? Are they a platform? In other words, if they're a platform, they just say, we're opening the gate for a bunch of people to gather here. We're not responsible legally, certainly, but really generally for what happens on our platform. Have they changed in that view at all?
I mean, Facebook, it's the smartest business move they can make to see themselves as a neutral platform because it absolves them of any responsibility. And that's something that we saw Mark Zuckerberg establish in the very earliest years of the platform. And he's continued to hold that position because it's the right one for him business-wise. But I think anyone looking at the company right now can say, well, you're neither. You're not purely a media company. You're not purely a neutral platform. You're something else, and we have to start defining that, because until we do, you're not going to hold yourself responsible, and the government is going to struggle to hold you responsible.
Joe's got a question for you. Joe?
Yeah, I saw that, listen to that statement from Facebook, and they set the fire, and then they brag about putting the fire out. But the fire continues to spread while they keep setting other fires. And I'm just wondering what you all, when you hear that statement, and then you think back to the Black Lives Matter protest, and you think back to the federal agent that was assassinated in Oakland by somebody associated with the Boogaloo Boys, and suddenly people started to look and see what Facebook did. If you decided to go on a page for self-defense, or let's say a very conservative website, they start directing you towards pages of right-wing fanatics, Boogaloo Boys, et cetera, et cetera. And isn't it the algorithms that push people in more radical directions, which then causes violence, and then they go, oh, we cleaned it up. When in fact, they're the ones that, like you said, are driving engagement, even if that means pushing people to extremist sites.
Yeah, Joe, the algorithms and the many tools that they have are all designed to boost engagement, to get people to engage more with the site. And that means pushing people into groups where you have like-minded people who are oftentimes pushing conspiracy theories and the most far right and the most dangerous sort of rhetoric that's occurring in these groups that are also harder to patrol by this company. When I heard that statement, I was thinking, this is a real whack-a-mole approach they have, and they are taking credit for things that they've done, and they have done these things. But in this whack-a-mole, the hammer they have is so small compared to what they're up against. And the scale of what Facebook is at, I mean, they've created something that has been such a megaphone for harmful content and information.
Shira, there's a great piece of reporting in there where Facebook considers on January 6th whether Mark Zuckerberg himself should call the President of the United States and say, what are you doing about this? Despite the fact that all these people, many of them gathered on Facebook, and Facebook had a hand in this. What was the calculation to not ultimately make that phone call?
They were afraid that it was going to leak to the press. I mean, one of the interesting things about Facebook as a company, and the reason we were really able to report this book, is that finally people within the company are speaking up. They're calling reporters such as myself and Cecilia and trying to blow the whistle on what they see internally. And in this case, they said, well, if we have him call Trump, it's probably going to leak to reporters, and it's going to look like we were proactive. It's going to look like we were somehow in concert with this, and better not to do it in order to avoid that.
Facebook released a statement on this as well, whether its executives considered that phone call to President Trump, writing, no such discussion took place with Mark. Nobody suggested he call, and he didn't. If Trump ignored the pleas of his own vice president, the idea that Mark Zuckerberg could have influenced him is absurd. That's the statement from Facebook. Cecilia, let's just talk about what changes now. As you write in the book, this is one of the most successful companies in the history of the world, started as a dorm room project 17 years ago at Harvard, and now it has such control, it has such influence, it has such power. Why would they be compelled to change?
Well, and we don't think that any change would necessarily come from within. There's really nobody that has oversight over the most powerful person within the company, who is Mark Zuckerberg. It's really unusual, the structure at Facebook, where Mark Zuckerberg has so much control over decisions in the stock. So, you know, interestingly, when a court threw out a lawsuit that was the biggest impediment to Facebook's growth, an antitrust lawsuit, the company's stock soared, and the company was valued at $1 trillion after that news break.
It's extraordinary. And there's so much new reporting in this book, a story we thought we've understood fully. It turns out there's much more to it, thanks to the new book, An Ugly Truth Inside Facebook's Battle for Domination. Shira Frankel and Cecilia Kang, thank you both, and congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much.
Joe?